energy. Let's go, plug in eco energy. Go, let go. Go, that eco energy. You know.
Okay, welcome to the first ever episode of Plugged In with Eco Energy. This new podcast feature that we're doing, we want to talk about different functions of electrical energy technology, electrical innovations. I'm Joe Bianchi, one of the owners, and I am super proud to be joined today with a guy I love working with. He happens to be my son. His name is Conrad. So Conrad has done a phenomenal job. He's led our company in our EV division, and excited to have him here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to jump into electric vehicle chargers and what electric vehicle charging does for your house.
Yeah, fantastic. So, like, this whole process came about by us trying to decide how can we help more effectively communicate to people who are interested in an EV charger, know more detail about costs, incentives, what charger level should I get, what brand should I get, and all that kind of thing. So I want to kind of jump into it. So if you're joining us on this podcast, it's likely because you bought an EV and you're interested in installing a level 2 charger in your home. Conrad's going to kind of talk about level 1, level 2 chargers and what you might expect. So, Con, you want to take off, kind of start explaining to us what the different chargers look like and maybe why we might select one over the other?
Yeah. So level 1 and 2 charging is essentially your only options for your house, right?
Right.
So a level 1 charger would be like your standard 120 volt plug.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people
Came with my truck.
Came with your truck,
Yeah.
and it comes with pretty much every EV.
Okay.
And most of the time when people get an EV, they get it home and they plug it right into that outlet,
Right.
and they say, oh my God, this is worthless. I get 1 mile or 2 miles of range per hour with this, and this is unsustainable.
Right. And then you're stuck going to the EV fast chargers.
Which is super expensive.
Waiting in line.
Yeah, exactly. Time sitting there. But yeah, so they get the level 1 charger and they realize this is not for me. This is for nobody with an EV.
Yeah.
And so they call us and they say, hey, I need more than a level 1. What is that? So a level 2 charger is a pretty broad range, right? It's anywhere from 16 amps at 240 volts, right? So double the voltage of your standard level 1 charger.
Right.
So 16 amps all the way up to 80 amps, right?
Yeah, but I can't plug that in, can I?
No, you gotta hardwire a pipe straight from your panel and your garage, your basement, wherever it is, all the way over to your garage and your EV charger hardwired right in.
Before we get into all the semantics about it, I want to know, am I just pouring money down a drain when I install an EV charger in my house? Talk to me about that.
No, not at all. So studies show that by installing an EV charger in your house, it's increasing the value of it by $5,000 to $17,000.
Okay.
That's
I'm
insane.
interested.
Yeah. And when you look at our average install, right? We've done over 100 EV installs just this year.
Wow.
Our average install this year has been $2,300. And it'll increase your home value by $5,000 to $17,000.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Right. You're over 200% ROI on that. It's insane.
Wow. What about when I go to sell my house? Do I have to take that thing out and...
No, I'd recommend leaving it right in there because the new people coming in to buy your house, whether they know it or not, they're going to be paying for that to be on your wall, and it's going to be worth it in the sale price. Trust me.
Okay.
80% of the home buyers in Illinois right now are looking for EV charging. That's like a criteria in their home purchase decision.
So this could potentially help existing homeowners sell their home faster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Your home will sell on average 9 days faster if it has an EV charger in it.
That's not nothing.
Certainly not nothing, yeah.
Okay. So we started talking a little bit about level 1, and that's the charger that comes with the car.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2 obviously does not come with the vehicle, so there's some differences there. Talk to us about level 2 and what we're looking for with that level 2 charger.
Yeah. So the idea behind a level 2 charge is that when you come home at night, right, you're the lowest point that your battery gets in that certain day, right? So say for this instance, it's a 20% is what you get home at night with, which
Okay.
is about the lowest that most people take their EVs,
Right.
just because it's easy to charge it up at home, right? So you
Right.
come home, you're at 20%. Now with a level 2 charger, we want you by whenever you're going to leave the next morning to be at 80%. Right, and that's how we figure out how fast of a charger we need to put in.
Okay.
Is whatever will get you from that 20% at night to 80% in the
So
morning.
you kind of size the charger up with the vehicle that you're installing. Like
Yeah.
I have a GMC Sierra, which is a huge battery.
You've got the biggest battery they make in a production EV, by the way.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, right? Yeah. So I know that if I get that battery down to 20%, by the next morning, I want that thing back up to 80%. We're going to go with a higher amperage charger, right?
Exactly.
But not everybody needs that, right?
No.
Okay.
No. And that's where it's a personal, that's why we like to go in and we ask questions, right? How many miles do you drive in a day? How regularly are you going to be taking it down from that 80% to 20%?
Okay.
And that, it's a very personal installation.
So personal installation, like I go online, I read about different chargers, I read reviews.
Mm-hmm.
What charger do you recommend? What charger do you like to install? Run me down that road.
Yeah. So it a lot depends on the EV that you have, right?
Okay.
So we take a bit of a variable, right, of what EV you have now, right, as well as what we see coming down the pipeline in the future, and make sure that any charger we install is going to be good for, not only you now, which is the most important, but also you in the future, and also anybody who may be buying that house and that charger in the future also.
So if I buy a Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
I have an option of installing a Tesla charger,
Mm-hmm.
or I can install a different brand.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I don't have to go with the Tesla. I don't have to go with the GM. I don't have to
Yep.
go with the Ford brand.
Yep.
But you do install those.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're certified with those as well.
Oh, we're certified.
Certified
Okay.
as installers with those.
Fantastic. Okay. What kind of smart features come with the chargers? Like, there's a lot of there's
yeah.
so many little things with each individual charger. Why don't you tell me about your favorite charger personally?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about some of the features and why you like that one.
Yeah. So my favorite charger at the moment is an Autel AC Lite, right? And
Okay.
the reason that that's my favorite charger is a lot of what I look for is the internals of the
Okay.
charger, right? So the Autel has extremely good internal guts. The contactors that they use are super high quality. The motherboard, the CTs, everything in it. But that's nerdy stuff that you don't care
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So the customer facing things that I really care about on that charger is the app, right? So the
Okay.
Autel app is very good. So one of the features that sets it apart from any other charger is the fact that you can authenticate, right, your charge right from your phone. So say you put your charger on the side of your house, which is the reality for a lot of people. They have to
Right.
put it on the side of their house. Either they don't have a garage or their garage is full of stuff and they park on the driveway.
Yep.
Right? So
Guilty.
and your neighbor takes a look at that charger and they say, "Oh, I'd like to charge my car up for free off of his electricity."
Okay.
So with a lot of chargers, if you just go and plug it in, it'll automatically start the charging session.
Okay.
With the Autel, you can configure it so that you have to press start on your phone. Or you could even tap. They have RFID cards you can buy where they can tap right on the charger
Okay.
to authenticate that charging session.
Fantastic.
And you can also do scheduling with
But
that.
I don't have to have that RFID reader. If
no,
I
not
just
at
want
all.
to plug it in, I can do that
Yeah,
too.
you
Okay.
can even set it so you don't have to press start on your phone at all. If you want it to be just in a plug to charge, you plug
Right.
it in and it starts charging. You can do that.
But oftentimes, I get home at 5 o'clock, and that's peak demand for electricity, and that's
Yeah.
the most expensive power I'm going to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So can I program the charger to start after peak hours and just
Yeah.
run through the night?
Yeah, so they've got a really robust scheduling feature in that app where you can schedule it by day of the week, right? So if you want different schedules on weekdays and weekends, or even if you know that you get home late on a Monday and you want it to charge right when you get home, or you leave early on a Monday, whatever the case may be, you can set all of those scheduling hours to work with that ComEd hourly pricing that you're going to be on.
That sounds fantastic, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you walk us through an install process? Because I know that a lot of times you're thinking about my panels on the other side of my house and my garage isn't close, or walk me through that process.
Yeah. So the first thing we do with any install, it obviously starts with a phone call. So you call in, you say, hey, I know that I need an EV charger. I listened to
Right.
the podcast and I know that I need a level 2
Right.
EV charger.
There you
That's
go.
even better.
Leg up.
Exactly. And past that, we'll kind of get to know your specific needs in that phone call. And then after that, we schedule a walkthrough of your actual house. That way we can come by and see, where is your panel? How much capacity does your panel have? Do we have to, take drywall out? What is it going to actually look like to get this pipe from point A, the panel, to point B, your EV charger?
Okay.
And past that, we'll obviously get an estimate together so that you know what you're going to pay for the actual install. You're not just going in blind with it.
Right.
And
Do I automatically have to update my panel?
No,
No.
absolutely not. A lot of the panels, I'd say that probably 70 to 75% of the panels that we see don't have to be updated, and they also don't even need something called a load management system, is something that you can put on a panel so that it can essentially work with an EV charger, even if it doesn't have the capacity to just automatically run it 100% of the time.
So if I'm a regular homeowner and I've got, say, a 100 amp panel, I want to install a 30 amp charger. Do I have to upgrade to 200 amp service, or can I work on that 100 amp service? You had mentioned a load shedding. Walk me
Yeah.
through that a little bit.
Yeah, so on every single install that we do what's called a load calculation. And that load calculation is it's a math problem, right?
Yeah.
That shows us exactly how many amps, is the way that it's measured, of electricity your panel is using.
Okay.
With a reasonable amount of the appliances and everything in your house on at any given time, right? So we take that and we say, well, how big of a charger can we realistically add to this? Can we do a 32 amp charger? Can we do a 40 amp charger? Do we have to go all the way down to like a 24 amp charger? And that's where we also take a look at what car do you have, right?
Right.
Could you realistically charge it on a 24 amp charger from 20 to 80% overnight? If you have a Nissan Leaf, right, then you can realistically charge it from
Right.
20 to 80% overnight on a 24 amp or a 30 amp charger.
Okay.
But that's where it depends on your use case. We also have that load shedding system, like you mentioned, that can go on, like if you have a 100 amp panel, right, it can go right to the side of that panel, and it can dynamically monitor how much electricity you're using at any given time, and it can say either your charger can be on right now or it turns off right now, right? And when do you charge your truck?
I charge it overnight.
Exactly.
Right.
And do you use a lot of electricity in your house overnight? Are your kids up doing, God knows what?
My kids are probably gaming,
Right.
running their PCs at 200 amps a piece.
There you go. But most of your lights are off, right?
Right,
And
right.
your AC doesn't run nearly as much at
Correct,
night,
correct.
which is why your actual load on your panel is going to go down. And that's when that load shedding system can say, no, we do have the capability to run this charger right now. Turn it on. Let it charge.
Okay. So without getting too far into the weeds, you'd need to come out to my house, look at our existing electrical setup,
Yeah.
figure out where the charger's going to go, and then put together an estimate. How long does it take you to do that?
Yeah, so I can have the estimate out to you on the same day that I do the walkthrough. And most of the time, I'm only a couple of days out, a day or two out on the walkthroughs.
Okay, so does it take you 4 hours to walk through my house and figure it out, or what does that look like?
I'll be there for about a half an hour,
Okay.
right? And in that time, I can really get to know you and your setup and your house.
Excellent, excellent. One of the things that we often talk about is safety with regard to the EV chargers. Obviously, we've all seen devastating, pictures and news stories of, a charger that caught on fire. Tell me about what kind of safety precautions you use when you're installing these chargers?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do, and it's actually a requirement in the National Electric Code that most people don't know anything about, right? So it's called a continuous load, right? And an EV charger is on for more than 3 hours at a time, which means that
Right.
it's classified as a continuous load.
Okay.
Now, what we do for that is we upsize our wire and we upsize our breaker 125% of the actual load, right?
Smart.
So if you have a 48 amp charger, we run wires that can handle 60 amps.
Okay.
Right? And we use a high quality copper wire, no aluminum wire, because aluminum expands much more than copper. And with
Okay.
all the heat cycles on an EV charger, that'll create a loose terminal.
Okay.
Right? So copper wire upsized 125%. And we also have it's a fluke safety, it's a meter essentially,
Right.
that will run all sorts of different tests and different fault codes that EV chargers can throw or that can happen, right? I mean, do you have mice in your garage?
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunately, yeah.
So those mice can, maybe chew a hole through the cord, right?
Okay.
Now, what happens when that happens? That fluke tester will test that fault, as if a rodent or anything were to cut that cable and there were to be
so
a fault.
it mimics
Mm-hmm.
the fault that could occur
Exactly.
and make sure that unit will shut off
Right.
properly.
Yeah, it'll make sure that the unit will respond accordingly,
Wow,
right?
okay.
Shut off. That way, in the middle of the night when you're charging your car,
Right.
everybody's asleep,
Yeah.
right? That way we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that charger will respond accordingly
Right.
when that fault occurs.
Wow. Let's start walking into the cost. What's all this going to cost me?
Yeah.
I think it's important that people have an expectation. Obviously nothing's free,
Yep.
but there should be an expectation that people know about walking into it, saying, is this going to cost me $30,000? Is it going
Right.
to cost me, $500? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there are some utility rebates that we are in the program to utilize, right? That can take down the cost of installation pretty significantly.
Okay.
Now, I know I mentioned earlier that our average install was about $2,300,
Right.
right? And that's over 100 chargers. That's been
Right.
our average ticket. And with that, we've seen quite a few of those customers pay nothing out of pocket.
Okay.
Now, not everybody qualifies, and they run out of money sometimes in those programs.
Everybody qualifies for some money.
Right.
Not everybody qualifies for the full.
Right. Not
amount.
everybody qualifies for
Right.
the largest rebate amount,
Okay.
of course.
So how would I find out if I qualify for those rebates?
yeah. So you can either call us, right, or do research online, and that'll show you. There's step-by-step guides that show you exactly how you qualify and what the requirements are as well.
So you say there's incentives available. Is that an
Mhm.
incentive that I apply for, or is that an incentive that ECO would apply for on my behalf?
Yeah, so because we're part of the program with the utility company, we can apply for that on your behalf, right? So we come in, we do the install, and say the utility pays for everything and you don't have an out-of-pocket charge. You don't even have to pay us in the interim, right? We take that and
So
we
it's
apply.
not a reimbursement.
Mhm.
It's ECO gets paid directly from ComEd
Mhm.
for the install in the home.
Right,
That's
exactly.
fantastic. Right. Okay. Are these incentives always available?
No, they do run out of money sometimes.
Okay.
We have guarantees of funding through 2028, right? But every year so far, the rebate levels have gone down a little bit
Okay.
as more people install chargers, and there's a certain amortization of the market. The numbers go down a little bit.
Okay. So better get after it sooner than later. is what you're
Exactly.
saying.
And they
Okay.
run out of money sometimes,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
they don't always make it through the entire year with the utility incentives.
For just for right now.
Mhm.
Like what are the incentives? What are the incentive rates going for?
Yeah, so there's your base level, right, which is what everybody qualifies for.
Everybody.
Everybody.
I make $1
Yeah.
million a year. I qualify for it.
You qualify
Wow.
for it.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So that level right now is $2,000.
Okay.
Right? So I mentioned our average ticket was $2,300. On average, you would have an out-of-pocket past that of $300.
So let me get this right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to apply for the utility incentive.
Exactly.
you're going to get paid directly from ComEd.
Correct.
So the only out-of-pocket I have is the difference between the incentive amount and the total cost.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and then the select, right, the LIEIEC rebate is $3,750 right now.
Okay, so and more people qualify for that than you would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people do end up qualifying for that.
Let's talk about the difference in the cost of charging for me doing it at home
Mm-hmm.
versus me going to a DC, say a DC fast charger.
Right.
What does that look like?
Yeah. So at home, under the ComEd hourly pricing, right? That's a super beneficial program. Have you seen? You've been on it for a few months. Have you seen
Yes.
your utility bill go down since then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good program for everybody to be on. So you're on hourly pricing. We already established you charge your vehicle overnight, which is what most people do.
At the lowest rate.
At the lowest
Right.
rate. That's when it's the cheapest, is in the middle of the night when you're charging.
Right.
So on average, in that time, you're paying 5 to 7 cents per kilowatt, right?
Okay.
And at a DC fast charger, you're paying anywhere between 50 cents and 60 cents per kilowatt.
So I'm paying about 10x
Mhm.
by going to the DC fast charger, then charging it at home.
Exactly.
So I can charge it overnight while I'm sleeping. I
Mhm.
don't need the car. I don't have to sit in my car and read a book while I'm waiting for the
Right.
thing to charge.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to go, take a walk, read a book, go eat somewhere instead of just eating at your home with your family.
Yeah, this sounds really too good to be true in a lot of ways.
Yep.
So, you've done a lot of these chargers. You've talked to hundreds of homeowners.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about some of the homeowners' biggest concerns, and let's face those head on.
Yeah.
What are you hearing?
Yeah, so the biggest concerns from homeowners is safety and price, right? So the safety
course.
of it, we've taken every precaution with that Fluke safety meter, with having every person on our team being specifically trained on installing EV chargers. That way they know exactly what to do in the scenarios that they see in the house. And the price, right? We've established there are utility company incentives
Right.
that take down a lot of that barrier to entry into EV chargers.
I don't know if we covered this or not yet, but we're ICC certified, Illinois Commerce Commission certified.
Exactly.
Which is a designation that only 5% of electrical contractors in Illinois have.
5%. If you
Yeah.
call 100 contractors and ask if they're ICC certified, electrical contractors for EV charging, 5 out of those 100 will say
So
that
chances
they are.
are my regular electrician that I hire to change out a light fixture or do
Right.
something is not certified in EV charging. Should he be installing my charger?
No, if he's not certified and he doesn't do it regularly, there are many pitfalls that he can fall into easily. Even a licensed guy, even a guy who can pull a permit and do it, he'll fall into pitfalls that a guy that does a lot of them and is ICC certified will not.
That's really good to know,
Mhm.
because I know that one of the biggest concerns I had in getting an EV was watching my garage burn down while I'm in bed asleep. Right?
Right,
That's
right.
the nightmare.
Yeah.
So we alleviate that by onboarding that Fluke meter testing system, which is top of the line.
Yep.
And also by certifying all of our techs, making sure everybody's licensed. We have checklists that we go through at the end of the installation. You want to
Yep.
talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we've got an itemized checklist that we go through at the end of every single installation. That way we can ensure that everything was done correctly and that it's documented, right? Now we also go through and we take pictures. We take pictures of the inside of your charger, of the serial number, making sure that it's powered on, making sure that it's set up for the correct
Torque
amperage
testing,
setting.
the lugs.
Yes.
All these things that go into, and a normal electrician who's licensed and does electrical work for a living doesn't know about all these extra steps you actually take when you're installing this charger.
Exactly.
So have you been on an install where an electrician installed the charger?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. And it's sad to say it's common to find it where an electrician either installed a plug for a charger or installed a charger and just didn't understand what they were doing and didn't understand what they were doing wrong. And it causes house fires. It happens.
Right.
Look it up. Look up what an improperly installed EV charger does. And
Right.
it's
scary.
dangerous.
It's
scary.
downright scary, especially you're sleeping.
Yep, exactly. You're sleeping. You've got your wife and kids at home. They're all asleep. Nobody's aware to know what's going on, and that's why that fluke tester is so important.
Right.
Because it simulates all of the faults that could happen that could cause a fire in the
Right.
night, and it makes sure that the charger will shut down properly.
Wow, that's great. It's good to hear. Licensed, insured, bonded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pulling permits, doing all the things that you have to do in order to get that done, in order to make sure that these people's families are safe at night, because that's the number one goal here.
Yeah.
Well, Conrad, this has been a great conversation. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing your knowledge and your hard work and dedication to making sure that people are safe every single day.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor to kick off the Plugged In podcast with you.
Yeah, it's great. So if you're thinking about installing an EV charger, you can get a hold of Conrad by calling 708-872-8404 or visiting us online at ecoenergy1.com. And have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to episode 2 where we dive into commercial EV chargers. Stay tuned for that.